All right. Happy Friday. Happy Friday and welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Relationship Recap. This is our infamous Maurice versus Martell conversation. My name is Crystal XO. I am one half of Relationship Recap. The other half is, of course, our pajama friend here, Scorpio Mo.
Happy Friday, everyone. What up, Crystal? What up? What up?
Do you have a bottle there? Have you popped a bottle?
You know, I'm doing a little mimosa this evening.
Oh, nice, nice.
Orange juice, champagne, a little bit.
Okay, I like a man that treats himself. You treat yourself. That's all right. That's all right.
Somebody got to do
it. I am not mad at you. I am not mad at you guys. I am just finishing up a bit of work. But I have a photo shoot tomorrow, so I'm just finishing up.
Hey, I did not know. Why would I know? But it is Pride weekend here in Atlanta.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. It is Black Pride weekend, which is always Labor Day weekend. It is also Breezy Bowl is happening here in Atlanta.
It's too much going on for me.
It is. I have a photo shoot tomorrow, and then I'm coming back home. My daughter is getting our Breezy Bowl fits together because we are going to the Breezy Bowl on Sunday.
Bet y'all are.
We're Breezy Bowl bound. Speaking of Breezy, actually not speaking of Breezy, you know what? We cannot do anything before we wish a happy heavenly birthday.
Oh, yes.
To Michael Jackson.
To the king. That's right.
To the king.
Yeah.
What was that?
The applause is not loud enough. Hold up.
No. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes. Happy heavenly birthday to Michael Jackson. I thought, before we get into the foolishness with these people here, I thought we would give our best. What is your favorite Michael Jackson memory? Song, video, just favorite Michael Jackson memory. You guys feel free in the chat to chime in. What is your favorite Michael Jackson memory?
It's not going to be what you think it is.
I already know.
Okay. My sister was one of my sisters. Super big Michael Jackson fan. A lot of them were. But this one, so I was on punishment. My punishment, I couldn't watch TV and I could not have any paper in my room or a pencil.
Okay.
Because I would draw and I like TV. And they didn't, so. But there used to be a commercial, a 1-900, where you could talk to Michael Jackson.
What?
They had the little fake 1-900. You call up and you can get a hold of Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
This was the height. This is when the 900 or 800 numbers just started, right?
Okay.
So I told my sister I would give her Michael Jackson's phone number if she didn't tell that I was watching TV. And she went for it.
How old was your sister?
How old are you in the 4th grade?
About 9.
There you go.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. You had a mouthpiece on you even back then, we see. You were into trickery.
I'm going to call her and remind her of that tomorrow, now that I think about it. Yes. That's my Michael. Because she was just so in that, and I was so into hip hop and Run DMC. I didn't catch I seen it and I saw the phenomenon, but be honest with you, I didn't get caught up into that. I was more of a off the wall than Thriller fan myself.
Tammy just said, I think Off the Wall was better than Thriller. Wow.
There you go, Tammy. Now that woman has good taste. There you go.
You know what? I don't agree with that, but I will say I have a lot of favorite Michael Jackson. I definitely Thriller was like amazing because there were so many. I mean, that was probably the best album ever. I just think Off the Wall was good too, but It was kind of before my time. Now I tell you what, my mom was a big Jackson 5 fan. So she introduced me to the Jackson 5, right? So while I liked Beat It and PYT and Human Nature and all those songs, I also enjoyed watching, you remember the Jackson 5 cartoon? And then they would just break into song, and it was these beautiful ballads. And I think Michael Jackson's voice was its purest, like on those Jackson 5 albums.
Yeah, I would say, but that's the beauty of, to me, Thriller to Off the Wall.
Yeah.
The Off the Wall was still left over from that, but then the transition changed. Surgery happened at the same time.
Not left over. It was left over because there was some surgery. Well, Off the Wall, was there surgery there yet?
That's a great question. I need to look at the cover, but
I know the cover, but I don't know, what Scorpio Mo, you need to promote the pod where y'all did the review of Off the Wall and Thriller.
We did do that. We had a conversation about what do people think it's, what do they, they like, and just the differences towards that. Go check out that episode on the Run That Back podcast. But I just really thank you for that. I just really, that was more, to me, it's just more soulful and meant more. By the time Thriller came around, I was I was beginning to hip hop and my ears were opening up. So it kind of lost me at that point.
So you didn't like the album, or was there any song on there you could?
No, and the funny thing is, just to be honest, when we started playing the songs back to back, it was more than I thought it was, but it was just the look of it. And then, like I said, the Off the Wall, we were in the disco era, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just out of that, and then to get the Thriller, it was the transition of what was going on in the streets and that kind of thing. So, but when you do play the albums back to back, it was closer than I thought it was, even though my taste was more Off the Wall. But to listen to it, just to keep it real, with songs on there, you'd be like, oh, you can't front on him. Like, the man is, him and Quincy together is just...
Yeah, him and Quincy was a amazing partnership. I think it was, someone said that Thriller was more pop.
Right.
Hold on, times. I'm sorry.
No, it is, and that's what we talked about. It was just more, you hear more of the soulfulness, and like I said, it was infused with a lot of the disco stuff that was happening. So you get that, but the more of the pop sound. But you can't front. I fronted on Thriller a little bit because I forgot, but when we started to play it back, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some joints on there.
Yeah, so many songs. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was afraid to play Thriller.
Why?
Vincent, his voice was so scary. Did that not scare anybody else? I was just like, why does he sound like that? Why does it have to be this scary? I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of Thriller. I was a fan of Beat It, PYT, and they used to play a Thriller video on Disney Channel. Yeah, but I'm telling y'all, that entry was scary. Why would someone's voice sound like that? Just ask.
The Vincent Price, rest in peace.
Yeah, Vincent Price, y'all call him Vincent Pill. Vincent Price. Do you remember his voice? Like, and
not only that, I remember. I mean, obviously, I've seen the reruns of movies he was in. That was his thing. I don't like it. It was beyond creepy popcorn fights. I agree. I did not. I hate it. And oh God, I don't listen to it on Halloween. I don't like it. I don't like being scared. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said they love being afraid. I did not like being afraid. And even with the very strange people to me that like that.
Me too. Like, how would that be an emotion that you enjoy? But the Thriller video, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Interesting video. I saw behind the scenes pictures today of the Beat It video.
I saw that too.
Wesley Snipes in the background, and who would have thought? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. There was somebody else that was a dancer. Well, the guy that
Undercover, the cop.
New York Undercover. Yeah, the Hispanic guy. Yeah. I didn't like it. Oh, I like the theme parks where they chase you, girl. No, I don't like any of that. So as a kid, I could never watch the Thriller video. I would watch it up until they turned, and he was giggling. He obviously liked to be scared because he loved that video. And Ola, she didn't want that. She didn't want to be her date to turn into a goblin and a ghoul. I didn't like it. But that was my favorite album, except for, like I said, a few of the Jackson 5 songs, like I'll Be There, and like you listen to that, his voice was just there is not a pure that's just there. I don't know what, if you listen to those albums when he, like I Want You Back and those old school albums. No, but I'm just saying, like, how did he know how to do those runs? Like, he did runs that would rival, people, grown-ups, I mean, it's amazing. Anyway, that's my favorite Michael Jackson, and I like the Jackson 5 cartoon. And then, probably there was some other songs. I kind of got a little concerned when we went to Who's Bad and things started looking a lot different. It was a strange ride we were all on,
Very true, very true. Rest in peace to Mr. Michael Jackson. Happy birthday. I think it's 67.
Yes, he would have been 67. Yeah. Gina says that's why it was called Thriller. That was the #1 video of all time. I know. And I'm just telling you, Gina, I was not a fan. I was not a fan. Was there a video for PYT?
Nothing I'm aware.
I don't think so. And I think we really should have invested. There should have been some money invested in that video. I
don't know if that would have rang the same today.
It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have probably ran the same then. But I just think we should have tried something else besides Thriller. Human Nature was probably my favorite song on that album.
There is a person that goes around and makes videos to the songs that there weren't videos to, and does a great job. It's I'm trying to remember the brother's name. Quality videos at that with AI.
Well, tell him to do a video for PYT.
Great work he does. Yeah.
Tell him, DM him all.
Yeah, I'm gonna find this page and I'm gonna do that because I think that'll be a dope idea because that's one of my favorite songs off that album.
It was a great song. So yeah, just rest in power to the one and only. I will let you guys know. I know there's gonna be a lot of pushback, but I think from what I've seen, the last concert I went to with Chris Brown, I think that Chris Brown is a better performer. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get a lot of hate, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying the same talent as far as like Michael Jackson from a child, but I think because Chris Brown really studied Michael Jackson and he's able to take everything from that, and I just don't think that there is a better performer than Chris Brown. I don't believe so.
I never really actually, just on award shows, I've never seen them, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah. I think what people get confused is like, I don't think I'll live to see anyone have the same impact.
I don't think that you can have the same impact because of social media and the way the world is now. You got to remember, Michael Jackson had that impact with no internet. It was all just music.
To see that and witness that in real time, like, that leaves you speechless. Just to see, it's crazy.
Yeah. People across the world, not just in America, but across the world, crying. And did someone say Chris Brown didn't have any Grammys? He has a Grammy. He got a Grammy for Residuals. Don't do that. Hey, you there? Don't do that. But yeah, we've talked enough about Michael, but I just want to give him his due because I do think he was the greatest. What he did will never be undone. And, may his legacy rest in peace or rest in power. But yeah, let's get into tonight. They did rerun. Oh, you're refreshing your drink. Okay.
Mind your business. Continue doing.
Yeah. He is actually making a mimosa. Oh God. Okay. He's just like, I'll just add one part champagne, one part orange juice. Keep the party going. Okay. They did reruns of Ready to Love to get us up to date.
They did.
Quickly before we go into Love and Marriage Huntsville, I do want to say, watching some of the past episodes of Ready to Love, I feel like they have really played in our faces a lot. This is what I want to say about this season, and then you can let me know what you think, and we can move on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. We have not seen dang near any of these so-called connections. We haven't seen any dates. Why are we not seeing dates? This Ready to Love, we don't see any dates.
I think maybe that was the distraction. That was the reason why they thought we probably wouldn't notice. That's the reason why they cut it off in this.
Yeah, they like what? And they just gonna tell us that Tay and Khalil have a connection. How?
That's what I'm saying. So they brought us back to fake connections and thought they Jedi mind trick us.
No, we know what it is. Also, I am standing 10 toes down on my belief that Sahara and Cam are definitely each other's top. Cam definitely is going to pick Sahara, or is going to move forward with Sahara. Their connection, when I went back and looked at it over her saying she didn't have an ex, her ex died or whatever. And I mean, no disrespect, rest in peace to her ex. But I'm just saying, when she said that her ex had passed away, and his response to her and the way he really does like her, I double down on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall see.
And I have one question for you. One last question. Because Cisco is broke, do you think that that's why he only has one person that he likes? He can only afford one? Or do you think he really just likes Tay? Because he didn't really like anybody. He didn't really like that girl, Shanice, at all. I just wonder, I wonder if because he knows he doesn't have a lot of money, he's like, hey, I got to just get in. Is it because of that? Because if he was a man with means, do you think he would have tried to play the field a little bit more and have more connections?
Nah, because at the end of the day, you can only pick one anyway. If anything, you want to spread your connections out to see which one is more understanding towards your situation. You don't want to
not spread it out. He just kind of went in.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But if you were, if you really was thinking it on that note, you'll leave it open just to be like, I don't want to lock in, because if I lock in and come to find out she ain't feeling my situation, I painted myself in the corner. So you leave it open. He didn't do that. I don't think it was based on that. I think he just, with his heart, who he was literally, because I did see the clip again, well, the episode where he said, there's a girl and she's nice looking. He was like, no, she's beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, he was like, she's not gonna play with Tay. But I was wondering, like, is that a broke man's mentality? Like, let me just pick one. Okay, all right.
No, the broke man's mentality is not to lock in on anything, and because you don't want to close in on something, and it's not you want to leave it all open, because once you choose, you chose, and then you can't double back. Yeah. So you want to keep everything open, then you feel like who's feeling your situation, not who you're liking, not who you like, but who's feeling your situation that doesn't have an issue with it, and that's where you go to.
And I tell you what, if he was thinking that way, he would have picked Shanice, because Shanice would have been a lot more understanding. She was praying for him, laying hands, and
that's. This is where experience, that's a wise man. That just lets me know that brother is not wise, because Shorty already voiced her opinion. The woman that's praying for you is understanding, more open. And this is where it's not about age, it's about experience and wisdom. That point, you could tell he's not there yet.
Tasha says, Cisco and his one connection in one shirt. I am weak. All right, y'all, let's...
That shirt, he's going to take it off in about 10 minutes.
And 9, 8, 7, 6. It's coming off. That train is never late. He's going, and because he caught. Yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
Why he take it off? He's hoping you don't notice. He just had it on yesterday.
Hey man, the gym will go a long way, but eventually, with a grown woman, it will come to an end. Let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. I have been waiting for this all week.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? What's up? Y'all?
If y'all ready, put an XO in the chat because we are. I just feel like Smithers. I'm just like, oh, such good stuff here. We had a wonderful episode waiting for us after talking about Ready to Love, and thank Owen for giving us this free weekend so we could get it. Damn it, he said, "Are y'all? Am I lying? Sue me then." Yes. But we'll get to that. Before that's so tasty. I love the XOs in the comments. First, let's start out with you know what? Hold on. DC, I agree with you. I don't think Tay is into Cisco that much either. I don't. I really don't. She's not into him anywhere. Y'all notice that she keeps saying she doesn't like when people snore. First of all, that's going to be hard to avoid, specifically as people get older. And he keeps saying that he snores, and she's like, well, that's going to be a problem.
Right. I think she was acting halfway attractive during the thing because she probably wanted her back blown out that weekend. But outside of that,
she ain't trying to be there for that man. She's mentioned to his friends that, and then he teared up when his friends was like, that hurt his feelings. But yes, we moving on to the sue us. We moving on. Before we get to that, because we're gonna talk for a minute about that. That's going to be the majority of tonight. Put your XOs in the comments. Make sure that you give us a like before we get into this Martell and Maurice conversation that gave me so much laughter. But first, let's talk a little bit about Miss Nell and Tisha. And I just want to say, Mo, we are not going to abide by any more Miss Nell slander. It's not going to happen anymore. We're not going to do it. You have slandered Miss Nell over these last weeks, and I cannot abide by it any longer.
I will just say this: the episodes speak for themselves. I ain't got to say nothing. Y'all saw what I saw. That's it. I'm leaving it alone.
The fact that I had to put up a picture of a baby Grinch was not right. But okay, what were your thoughts of the conversation with Tisha and Nell when they come to the coffee shop?
We got to go back to the party.
Okay, go back to the party with Miss Nell, with Tisha being upset. Now we know, just so we can talk about it, Tisha was upset, and she has her husband's back, as she should. She had her husband's back because Chris said that when there's some mention of an NDA with cheating, it sounds like Maurice and Marsau. So Tisha took that to heart, and she was waiting for them to come to the party, and she got in Chris's face. Chris wasn't really, he kind of was like, it's almost like his grease allows him to slip and slide throughout conversation. Like he just slid on out of that conversation. And he didn't really, he doesn't, you can't catch him on anything. He's slippery to the touch. He's always going to slip through your fingers. And he never did take accountability for it. We saw him say it, right? We saw him say it. But I did think that I thought Tisha was a little bit out of pocket because you don't need to be up in somebody's face. Marsau didn't challenge him.
That part. This is where it becomes man business. You know what I mean? And if you feel that way, ask your husband to address that. That's what, I mean, you have the right to feel whatever you feel. But once you verbally, then you got to take his wife coming in there, you make it into something else. And I just personally think I assumed at the time she was better than that. And let the men handle it amongst themselves. And I just think that's the best practice. And when you do that, it just turns ugly. When you don't, pardon me, when you don't do that, you have to be very, very careful. Now, just like woman to man, like I wouldn't go into another woman's face when there's an issue with my wife. I would tell my wife and to let her, or at least give her the chance to address it.
Right.
You know, he didn't do that. That's why I thought, like I said, you feel the way you feel, but once you start to take action, you got to, because the men are going to handle it totally different. And if you jumpstart something that you're not able to handle or deal with, because at that point the consequence or the actions are on them, and they're going to take it to a whole nother level. But gladly cooler heads prevailed and the men. But it also goes to show that, and we're going to talk about other people too, but when I don't see the men address it like the way they should, especially the accused, not the accuser, it leads me to believe that there's some truth in that.
Yeah, I think, and we know that Marsau has taken a position of never really defending himself on camera at all. But what's interesting is that we talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago. Tisha gets the liquid courage. I don't know if she had the concoction that you have there, but she gets the liquid courage, and she always, kind of gets out of pocket. The funny thing is, Marsau never supports her. He always chastises her every season.
That's good, because you could really put the fire out before there's even a fire. If you actually do that, if you know in her limitations, or once you get started, you can cut that off. The fact that he just kind of lets it go and plays the sidelines, I don't think it's healthy either.
He lets it go, and we're going to talk about what the response to that is. But Tisha is always the one trying to, get the heat off of them, and then the brown crown. Tisha's always trying to get the heat off of him, and then Marsau actually he actually ends up going off on her more than he does other people, which is strange to me.
I said, and maybe he told her he'll handle it, because I've seen people, and even myself, been in situations where I say I handle it, but then the other person, the emotions get the best of them, and when they read on, they just,
especially when she's been sipping. But my point is, this happens all the time. He's always telling her not to do something, and she always does it anyway. And it's always something about defending him. It's always that. Tisha don't do, she gets into it with the other ladies, but really the only thing she gets into with the other ladies about is the rumors about him. Where's the justice? No justice, no peace.
It's not healthy, boy. It's not healthy.
And the crazy thing is, so when she sits down with Nell, after Nell and Trisha have a weird conversation that doesn't feel at all authentic to me. I don't buy that they're buddies. Nell is just using her because she can't talk to nobody else. But when they sit down, when she sits down, did you guys pick up on the fact that Tisha finally, she says, because all this time I haven't seen we didn't watch the interview. We don't know what it says. All this deflecting. And then when they sit down, she says, when they get to it, the second half of the last episode, when she comes back in to talk again, then she finally admits that all these rumors are affecting their marriage. But up until then, she keeps acting like it's not a problem. We didn't see what Martell's interview was. We were doing something else. They act so unbothered. But then when Nell keeps talking, she's like, this is affecting my marriage. Well,
but technically, to her defense, isn't she supposed to try to stand on that first before she just goes and says it's affecting her man? Because at that point, people can just turn the screws. So you're supposed to deflect and be like, nah, not at first. And if they go for it, they do. You keep the people out of your business.
I think acting like you didn't see it, you don't know what was said, is too far. I think it's too far, because that it's too far. It's like, thinks thou dost protest too much, right? It's just, you're doing too much. Acting like you don't know what was said. That's different than saying I don't believe that. but acting oblivious is the problem. And
So
that's
you have to take the Kimmy stance at that point, then, right?
yeah, that's why Kimmy don't get the same pushback, because Kimmy don't act, the same way as Tisha does. Tisha is trying to fake like she's unbothered, but it's very clear that she is bothered. But she's just under Marsau's thumb of you have to act unbothered, and it doesn't. It's coming across like they're not.
She's not built that way. That's all.
She's not built like that.
You're right. He is, but
he is, but he's also. It does not bother him. It bothers her. It should, to me, a husband should protect his wife.
No,
so protecting her is not telling her not to be bothered. Protecting her is standing up and saying, this is not the case. I'm not trying to hurt my wife.
But dig this. You said in the beginning, she says it's not like that. And maybe they have an understanding. Like, you can't protect someone that's not listening to you. If you told her, listen, this is the plan, don't do that, and then she goes against it anyway, you can't protect her because you told her, you gave her information to protect her, what not to do. And then she goes against it. It's like, well, I mean, he should fight a little harder, but at that point, she moved away to protection.
Well, but I mean, that's after it has, I agree with him. Marsau is protecting Marsau. And even if, because I do think he's built different than Tisha, right? They're very different. He is a mental manipulator. She is not. But even if you know your spouse, if it's hurting your spouse, you not stepping up and being a protector is a problem. And you have to protect her more than just telling her what to do. It should be, there's no reason why he hasn't come out and said, I am not doing this to my wife. I would not disrespect my family, because not only is it affecting him, but you see how the daughter acts towards him.
I peeped that. Yeah.
Now, I feel like, I don't know, but I do know that she said her dad was her favorite. This cannot be healthy for your family under any circumstances at all. Yes, it makes you guys money. Yes, it gives you celebrity or a pseudo celebrity appeal. But for your children to constantly hear that their dad is cheating on their mom is not healthy. And for their dad not to go on record saying, you know what, I would never disrespect my family. I feel like the reason that he's not doing that is because if he were to come out and say, that's absolutely not true, I've never done that, somebody may get perturbed and be like, yes, you did. And I am she and she is I.
Interesting. It's very well possible. I mean, that could be true. I don't want to assume that that's the reason why the daughter's acting that way, though. I don't want to assume
it can't help, though.
I mean, but
it's a number of things. The fact that he is a smart ass towards her mom, that could be a problem.
But in the beginning, if she was the favorite one, if he was the favorite one, then you would have to ask, well, what was wrong with the mother? Why she couldn't?
Well, we know what was wrong. Tisha says she's the disciplinarian at the house, so the disciplinarian is rarely the favorite.
So maybe he stepped up in the roles changed. He became the disciplinarian. I just it could be that, but that's just a strong.
And I don't mean to suggest. Let me go back and I'm not saying that I know that that's the case. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying that cannot help, and I'm saying that cannot. To me, that's not showing protection, because you shouldn't leave your wife out there looking crazy like
that. You shouldn't, but if you gave her instructions, she wind up being destructive.
But I think the reason that she's being destructive is because Marsau's not going to address it. So she just gets fed up and addresses it herself once she's had a couple of drinks.
Follow my lead. But like you said, you still got to protect that, because you're a union, you're a unit, you're a union. So what looks to me when you at that level and you're married, what looks bad for one looks bad for the other. Me personally. You can't separate the two as much as you like. This is not girlfriend and boyfriend or talking phase. This is husband and wife. So, you know, like I was saying on Wednesday shows, if I'm dating someone and she go out looking crazy, she's not looking crazy. We looking crazy. That's how I take it.
I agree, but unfortunately a lot of people don't think like that, because as I mean, let's go back and review, because we did a review last year on the entire conversation that Martell and Arion had with the alleged mistress, right? So I understand the idea that not responding makes you look like the bigger person, but when it comes to your family and the stakes are this high, I just think that you have to address it, because it'd be different if you said, we're not going to address it. We're not going to be on Love and Marriage Huntsville anymore. We're moving on because this is not positive. This is not healthy for our family. But to say we're going to stay on Love and Marriage Huntsville and we're just not going to address it, and we're just going to act like we're bigger than that season after season after season, it's not giving great strategy.
You're right. What I do think, I think that, oh man, I think the scenario happened. I don't think Martell was there, but he was told what happened after the fact, and he went with that story. That's why the brothers was like, they feel confident. You weren't in the room. You were gambling, so you can't possibly know what happened. But at the same time, it's like, why were you even in the room with that lady in the first place?
Right. But see, that's the thing. So let's just jump into that conversation since we went there. I think that Maurice was trying to lawyer his way around. I know, which is, I remember you told me a story about a young lady that came to entertain at, I don't even know if it was a bachelor party, but that one of our friends asked her where she's from, and you said he should not have been asking her because she was from Hoville. He was like, why do you care where she's from? She's from Hoville. Who cares? She's not here for that. But in that situation where the girl came to entertain, this is a horrible time that I'm sure you don't do anything like this now. If somebody said, Mo, do you remember what color the carpet was in that room? You're probably like, I don't. Do you remember the carpet in that room?
It was my apartment. And it was my birthday party. I remember everything.
Okay, well, that's okay. But if who knew? But if it was somebody else's, I'm just saying, like, I've been places where nothing like that happened. There was a time when I may have had a few too many sips of alcohol, and I was doing the chicken noodle soup dance. Okay,
which actually happened.
But I don't remember the color of the carpet in that room. Do you?
But you don't. But at the same time, it's just like this man is asking him about his private areas and what I got to distinct, which is a wild conversation to have with another man.
I will say, can we just before we get into, can we just say, out of 1 to 10, out of 1 to 10, do you feel like Martell was lying, or do you think Martell was telling the truth? And then I want you to do the same, give the same gauge with Maurice and the conversation. And to me, in that conversation, the way Martell was responding, I believe him. The way he laughed, I believe that 9.999 Martell was telling the truth, because Martell is not slick. He just was saying what it was. Maurice well, can I tell you this? What color was the carpet? Who knows? Who's paying attention to carpet? It's kind of like that. Where is she from? She's from Whoville. I don't care.
Because here's the thing. He never denied the lady wasn't in the room. He said, you said you were gambling. And he was, so I split the difference. He left them there.
That's what he said. He said initially. He said initially.
I believe him.
I believe him. Another reason I believe him is because, as Lynn B pointed out, Maurice did not deny that Marsau flew the lady out.
And there you have it.
That is the funniest thing. And the fact that Maurice asked, why did I get brought into it? That lets you know that, okay, my brother did that. Why did you let me get thrown under the bus?
Right. It's like playing hide and go seek, and somebody be like, I got caught. They be like, hey, I got you. And they be like, come on, Maurice, they got us. They didn't get us, they got you.
Maurice was mad that he was mentioned in the thing, and Martell was like, well, I'm sorry you caught a stray, but you could have made him stop. I'm gonna go on the record and say I believe Martell. I think that all these years Martell has been trying to abide by the bro code because he doesn't believe, how dare you talk, and you guys know we were all doing the same thing. The fact that he got caught and he got caught out there is one thing, but the fact that they're standing up on their high horse, looking down like, how dare, he's like, are y'all serious?
That part. And that happens more times than you think. Like, that happens in a lot of male friendship things, and, because, men come home to their wives and be like, yo, you ain't gonna believe what such and such did. And a lot of times when they're so quick to speak on another man, because they're deflecting, keeping everything off of them, they never say what they did, or they were just so innocent and I can't believe he did that. And this is one of those situations. But once it becomes out to the public, and then let's say all the friends turn against him, it was like, yo, y'all know the truth, and y'all were there too. And the fact that I'm not going to say nothing, but if you're going to pile on top of what your wife is saying, eventually either check her or I'm going to expose you.
Right. Yeah, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it anymore. That conversation was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Maurice was trying, and Maurice, like, Marsau is actually smarter, right? Maurice he thinks he's smarter, but trying to lawyer him through was like, all these questions it doesn't even matter. First of all, if I would assume, I've never been a man in a situation where there was physical activity going on. But I would assume that a man could be in the room and not staring at another man's genitalia. So asking him, what does his penis look like, was wild. Like, what? What? I'm asking you, I'm sure you've never been in that situation. But if you were you looking at the others? Would you have been looking at the other guy's private parts?
I would try to get an angle where I wasn't.
So I'm just saying, why would he? That was all his questions were. I would have been like, overruled. Overruled. Objection, Your Honor. Overruled.
I think it's a form of shaming. Like, he knows he's going to be uncomfortable with that, and he's going to stop the conversation. Because if you say that in front of a bunch of people, then they're going to be like, yeah, were you? You see what I'm saying? I know what that is.
And see how Marsau was like, when he was in his confessional, he was like, well, if he was in there, what was he looking at? See, don't do that. Just answer the question. Just say what it is. All that trying to go around the side and scheme and try to make the other person look like, question his sexuality. Come on, man.
All shaming, because the bottom line, the truth is, you ain't got to say that part to if your part was true, there's other things to say. But the fact that you say that lets me know you're trying to shame him in some way. Now,
Tammy mentioned the fact that Maurice, and I think I have a picture. Hold on, y'all. I got to pull it up because I took a picture. I took a picture on the story. Maurice's story about why he did not commit that DUI.
Hey. That is a I like to.
I got it. Hold on. I cannot wait. Let me get this up. This is wild because Maurice, I just want you guys to know, all you people that watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, Maurice thinks all of us are stupid. I just want us all to come together as a family and understand that Marsau and Maurice, but especially Maurice at this point, he feels like we are stupid. And I take offense to that. I want the rest of us to take offense to that. Hold on. I'm about to put these pictures up. Because I said, you know what? What you're not going to do, Miami Reese, is play in my face.
Well, here's the thing: is lawyers, like you're speaking law. We're not in the court of law.
He's not even speaking law. He's speaking foolishness.
No, because I can tell by the words that he's using. Like that's not going to fly with us in the. You see what I'm saying?
Not at all.
It's just not.
Not one bit. Not one bit. First of all, okay, I'm gonna put these pictures up before I even say what I gotta say, because I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever, because what you're saying does not refute. Now, it might have been enough for you in Huntsville, where you know the judge and you have a good relationship and maybe you have some dirt on somebody else. It could have been enough for you to get off, right? But what is not, sir, is enough to convince us that you were not driving under the influence, because your story makes absolutely no sense. And I, this is not a personal thing. Maurice is cool, but don't do that. It's just a stupid. Now, I understand it's smart for him to do because he's a lawyer, and if he did get caught, having to cop to a DUI, it probably would be bad for his record, right? But it's the dumbest. It was the dumbest. It's the dumbest lie. And Martell just started laughing, and it was laughable. Now, after the scene of Martell laughing, because he couldn't believe Maurice was serious, Maurice posted this on his Instagram, along with Jay-Z's "What More Can I Say?" as if he was telling us the truth. This is where he said the tree hit the car. Now, I don't know how fast he allegedly was going, but allegedly he hit an animal, a tree, and a pole. And the pole hit the back, the tree hit the front. Now, how in the hell do you have this type of accident if you're driving home not under the influence? According to, we didn't hear that there was any horrible storm or hurricane happening that would have caused him to swerve. He swerves to hit an animal to the point. You guys see how fast he have to be going in order to make for this to happen to the front of that car. First of all, he's blessed to be walking and not maimed or anything with that type of accident.
If you know anything about these accidents, they come out and they put chalk and they do a guideline from skid marks to when things actually happen, leading up to the position that the car is in the final crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of tells the story.
Right.
And when you jump out there and say, you didn't say deer, you didn't say possum.
You said animal.
You said animal, and that word stuck out to me. I've never heard someone jump out and say animal.
And an animal popped out.
It's usually very specific.
A deer.
A rabbit.
A possum.
But animal, it could be Bigfoot. It could be a lot of things. Like
it could have been a monkey. It could have been a dog, a cat, a raccoon.
So I'm asking you, what animal? And you never say. That lets me know. Because you hit an animal, guess what? In the grill, somewhere in the car, there's fur, perhaps.
Yeah. My mom hit a goose. And in the grill of her car, thank you, Linda B. I'm gonna leave that. In the grill of her car were some feathers. and it was a bad thing. But for him to say, that's a good point, Mo. Animal is crazy. Tree and a pole. That's why Martell was laughing, because yes, you can hit a tree and a pole if you are drunk, because you're driving too fast, you're not paying attention, and your faculties are off. Linda says he was under the influence. He got off because the breathalyzer wasn't calibrated, so they had to throw out the results. Yet Maurice is sitting here at this table, and what's crazy about it, he wanted a chance to vindicate himself, because he didn't even have to bring this up.
I wouldn't have. That was crazy. You come on, you did that to yourself at that point.
You did this to yourself.
And you a lawyer, you should know better.
But I'm saying his lawyering, I don't know if it's the Huntsville lawyering, because even the way he was asking Martell, so tell me this, what color was the carpet? Like, I was in the room today. I don't know what color the carpet was.
If I'll tell you the color of the carpet, if you could tell me what animal it was. You see what I'm saying?
And most importantly, why was she there?
Thank you. You never denied she was there and left alone. Come on now. Let's talk. Come on.
Why was she there? African says African says all lawyers get cocky at some point.
That's a fact. I believe that.
I believe that too. But that lawyering is not. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not a lawyer. I could never have went to law school because my brain doesn't retain that type of information. But I could watch Law and Order and do a better job than Maurice at that table.
Because if you hit such said animal, they're going to pull the fur out. They're going to do DNA, and they can tell you what type of animal it is.
They can tell you what type of animal it is. And how do you hit something at that speed? At that speed, there's no way he was going according to the speed limit, and the tree took out the car that way. The tree ate the car. Actually, what happened is the car wrapped itself around the tree.
Yeah, it's tailed and smacked into,
He said, I hit an animal and a tree and a pole. And Martell was just like, oh.
You knew you hit an animal. What animal was it?
I've never heard, in the words of Kevin Hart, I've never heard you use animal. What?
Maybe he hit a Deborah.
A Deborah. Yes, that's right.
It's possible.
That was perfect. A Deborah. That's exactly what it was. The kind that you make up when you're telling a stupid lie. And it was a Deborah. Shout out to Kevin Hart. Hilarious. I've never heard you use regular gas. All that was hilarious to me. No, Maurice, no. But this is my problem. The entire conversation about the girl, Maurice is trying to basically make Martell look like a liar without attacking the fact that there was no such thing. So Martell is just saying, so we were not in Vegas? Yeah, we were in Vegas, but if you did this, then what does my penis look like?
Whoa. Yo, because that's the thing. And he's like, you see Kimmy when he explained it to his brother, what he said to Martell, and then he's like, I have a very specific or deep.
And that was too much for me, even as a viewer. I did not want to know that information.
You got 3 balls? Like, what are you talking about? You have a fork? Like, what? What?
Lovey said he should have taken Kimmy's advice and not met with Martell. I don't even know. Like, I think eventually they're going to have to, if they're going to all stay on this show, they're going to have to be around each other. It doesn't make sense for them to be on the show and not ever talk to Martell, right? Now, at this point, I think the audience has made its decision. We've made a decision on what we think happened in the past. the funny fact is Maurice does stuff. Maurice and Marsau do stuff to each other to make each other look bad. Because to me, that conversation where Maurice is asking, well, why did I get brought into it? It really did make Marsau look bad, right? And then there's another situation where,
good point.
You know, posting the pictures of Marsau posted a picture. That, come on, y'all all were doing the same thing.
And that's the thing, but like, oh, man, I hope the brothers don't get mad at me. It's just like, you gotta be, you in Vegas, you know the activities that go on. Like, it's a certain spot that you go with all men, and it's open to a lot of that. And I'm not saying they had to participate or whatever, but I know the energy when you're in spots like that in Miami and Puerto Rico, and it's all men. What is the purpose of that anyway? And, you know, and then the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But when you fly a woman out, right, that lets me know that you're trying to keep it in-house. You're not trying to get some stranger and you don't know how they're going to move or get in contact with them. So you import it in. Hope I'm not saying too much, but you import it in to keep the talk in, to keep the whatever you guys got going in this circle. But, and do I believe Martell put a little salt and pepper on it? Yes. But do I believe most of what he said? Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say I would give him a 9 and Maurice a 1.5 as far as how I believe their honesty was in that conversation. I think Maurice and Marsau just really underestimate. They think they don't respect Martell. And the reason they don't respect him is because he got caught.
Right.
Because he got caught.
When you get caught and we all doing similar things, you make all the fellas hot. I got to come home and hear my wife and she knows I hang out with you. Now she's questioning me. I'm taking it off of me. I'm putting it on you. No, I don't know what that, but you know, those kind of conversations. But at the same time, it's like Martell has to be wiser to know, like, up until this point. And what did he say? What did he say? Something about I didn't put it out. I gave you a timeline or a time, hoping you would call me because I didn't want to have to put it out.
I did. I believe it. I believe that. I believe that too. And I think that's why he said, I was hoping he would call me, because I do think all this time Martell has been trying to abide by the bro code of, I don't want to just do that, right? Because at this point he has nothing to lose. He really could have put it out back when Melody divorced him, because at that point his game was over.
But at the same time, it's just like, these guys got to come home and then pillow talk and say things to their wife. And then when it happens, she's like, what are you going to do? You got to speak up. And he's speaking up against a brother that he has a code against. And it just makes for a very messy situation. I don't think they necessarily wanted to do it, but they were put in the position to, my wife is now looking at me. I almost kind of got to go against you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wonder, like, when that happens, say there's a group of guys, one guy's wife finds out that he's cheating. The other guys probably got to kind of distance themselves just for their own self-preservation.
No, it's true. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
So I think part of it they had to, but what's crazy about this situation with the people in Huntsville is that the women also knew that Martell was cheating and allegedly had conversations before with Arion. So there was a lot of backbiting. And then if you throw in the little tidbit about them all kind of having a group, the limo situation that came out at the reunion, or the reunion last year, that makes it rough to me, because to me those are not marriages that are disgusted with it. I think they're all very much more liberal than they're playing. They are. I think the reason that Marsau and Maurice are going so hard is because they're trying to keep from looking like they're as bad as they are. But anytime something like that can happen in a limousine, then these are not conservative people. These are not people that are, and in that video that I showed you of the ladies, that like, these are not, that there's no surprise. If my husband goes on a trip, a boys trip to Vegas, there comes out pictures of another man with his mistress, because you remember on another trip here to Atlanta, Martell took Arion. So they were always importing women in.
Yeah, but that's how you keep it. I'm saying too much, but you got to move.
I mean, are you planning to go back and do these things? You're free. You're free and clear. Tell everything.
You're not going to trick me and be quiet. I'm just saying, if you're going to do certain and be under that, you have to move a certain way. And Martell has figured that out, but at the same time, it's like you can't do it around guys that's not going to hold it down. A lot of times you don't know until they're put in that position. And obviously now he knows.
I think he knew a while ago.
Or maybe he did. I just started watching it last season. So maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this has been going on since season 1. Melody brings up in season 1 that Martell is cheating and everybody acts like, ooh, but they all know, they've all been a part of it. It is what it is. Like, this is just the most ridiculous thing, which is why even people like Ken, who I see tries to get sassy next week and say that he may not be ready to marry Trish. Negro, please.
Hold on. What did you refer to that as?
I said he was sassy. I said Ken got a bit sassy. Y'all saw it. And all I can say is it's sassiness, because yes, he acted sad, because Ken has been her puppet this whole time. Now he want to flex. Well, I may not be wanting to marry that, but Negro.
Every time y'all say a man says sassy, I picture a man on his hips.
Like, that's exactly what I pictured when he said he may not want to marry her.
That's not the case.
Yes, it is.
Y'all gotta stop you.
Yes, it is. He wants to marry her. Man, you done took care of this woman for 3 years while she was somebody else's wife. Why would you want to stop now?
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions, looking for answers. That's all. I'm asking questions, looking for answers. If you had no problem paying all the bills when she was married to somebody else, why would you stop?
It's the cheers, it's the crowd, it's the roar of the crowd, the boos, the hisses. It's getting to him now.
I know when his friend told him that he would have left Trish a long time ago on camera, he looked crazy. I think he felt some kind of way about that.
Now, depending on how much he respects the friend, that could have been the part. It's to hear from these new dudes who are married, but to hear from a single guy, it hits a little different. Let's be real. It hits a little different. So I'm glad.
No, because the friend talked like he has been like that all the time, right?
Right.
The friend talk like that is just how Ken is in relationship.
The friend said it in front of mixed company. That's where it hits a little. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? He said it in front of, who was it?
Chris.
He said it
in front of the slickster.
Yeah, I can't say he said it in front of him. Yeah, I don't know if that's the most ideal guy to say it in front of.
Chris looked like, and Chris, it's so funny because when he said Trish would have been gone a long time ago, the camera panned to Chris. And Chris, I just feel like you can say what you want about Miss Nell. Chris would not have been dealing with Trish's foolishness. I could just see it all over his face. It was written all over his face. That would not have been the hill he would have died upon. No.
I agree. I don't know if it got anything to do with Miss Nell, but I agree.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you could say that may, but this is the thing. With what did you think about when Tisha said, "Well, you've had infidelity in your marriage"? I just want to tell Tisha, stop doing that. Why are you trying to draw a line and keep bringing that up? Like he was almost trying to rub it in her face a little bit. When you come on now,
it's the deflecting thing. It's
not good. It makes us have less patience with her situation. I was so concerned that it was going to come out because it just keeps being. There's a saying that we have in publicity, like where there's smoke, there's fire. If there's continuous smoke, something is happening. Now, it may not be happening today, but something is happening to cause all of this smoke. She did do that to Melody. I don't and Melody, at certain times in the show, it looked like Melody wanted to just put everything out that she knew. I think that Melody knew all the stuff that Martell is saying, but Melody did not say it. Because you notice whenever they would push her a little bit, she'll say some fly stuff.
Now, it might be the same thing. Just like I said, the fellas go home and deflect and keep everything on. You ain't gonna believe what he said. Martell did this, that, and the other. It could very well go the other way. It probably did that. Martell will go home and do the same thing.
I'm sure he did. Especially, and one thing I know about a man that gets caught, he can't wait to try to make himself not look so bad by saying he did it too. He acting like he's all good. He's doing it too. They do it all the time.
Watch that, fellas.
Please. Watch. There's no fellas watching this, Mo.
Sometimes you don't even have to do anything, especially because they're all married. But you know who really catches it? The single friend.
I sense that you're speaking from experience.
I used to catch all type of heat, and they be like, Mo, because you feel it, like you meet there, you know, you might hang out with them or go to their house to watch the game or the fight. It's a fight coming up too. But the fight, and then they be like, hey, Mo. The attitude, she be like, why is she, you know, like the energy, you can feel it. Then you find out later, that's what he's been doing. They put everything on the single friends. But being as though all these men were married, they're just passing it along.
They put it all on Martell because he went down. So it's like, let him take the brunt of the fall. Princess, I need you to explain yourself. She says Ken's member is absent. That's why he stays with a woman who treats him like Trish. Trish ain't thinking about it. Oh my God.
Or he had the pump next to him.
That means it's not absent, but it's not cooperating.
He might have had to pump it up. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't want to put that on that man. That's some evil stuff to say. But I'm just saying.
Well, we do know when there's roid rage, it tends to pull from some areas and feed others.
Oh, it ain't gotta be that. You got diabetes, any kind of heart.
Yeah, but when you got them, with you on them roids, though, it's just pump it up.
Talking about as far as like Ken is concerned.
Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking about Maurice.
Oh no, Maurice. Oh,
he was
she was talking about Ken. That's why he's up under Trish, because now I do know this. When men are struggling in certain areas and they find someone willing to
put up with it.
Huh?
Put up with it.
Put up with it, but to show them kindness, you know. Because there are a lot of women that are not cool with it. You find somebody that, you know, will give you a nice rub and try to make you feel better. You want to stay there.
Is that how they go?
So at some point, it said, Mo, you're looking very demure, and Crystal, you're looking ready for a date. I received that. I receive it. African acetan says at a certain age, you have to put the alcohol down and pick the coconut water up. That is true, but if you're on steroids,
Hey man, all that the sugar and all that grease is not good for you, fella. That hey.
It's not. But I do not agree with Lynn. It says the storyline is a dead shark without Marquez. No, ma'am.
Huh?
No, ma'am. I showed y'all a few weeks ago that Marquez has been on dating sites trying to strum up a date.
You know what he's trying to do? They probably told him, look, if you can get a love interest, we could possibly get you from being a feature to a main player.
He would never be a main player.
But think about that, though.
He could never be a main player on that show.
If he get a chick, it might be more.
No, because thank you, Karen. Thank you so much, Karen, for that super chat. No, he cannot be a main player because they are officially divorced now. Thank you, Tammy. They are officially divorced. It finally is final, but this just happened. It was not while they were filming, so I don't know. It might have been at the very end, but what we're seeing right now, they're still married. Do you know how much nerve it takes to have a birthday party with a blow up poster of you and your boyfriend when you still have a whole husband?
Mentally, she's already,
I know people mentally be gone, but do you know how seriously delusional you have to be to have another man on your birthday paper, a birthday poster, and you have a whole husband?
On paper, it doesn't look the best, but it's not that bad.
It is that bad. You're not divorced.
He already living with him. What is nobody?
They've been living together for a while. But anyway, so let's see. Shall we make a bet as a family to see how soon do we think Ken and Trish are going to get married? Now, if everything was good, then we should see them getting married next season.
I think they're going to do a whole season of planning, and then something is going to happen that's not going to go through at the end, and they're going to lead us to a whole nother season. They're going to drag it out, milk it.
Yeah, I think that Trisha does not want to be married. I think that she's on TV now. She probably feels like she could get somebody even better because she's getting a little hype.
It's possible. It's possible. Hey, you get them freedom papers. Let me tell you something.
Are you open? Are you trying to go to Huntsville?
No. I'm just saying, you feel it like we can just, someone can discuss plans for what we're going to do, but what actually happens, and you're free to really, that's when you're going to see what the person really, really thinks of you and how they move.
Mm-hmm.
He's being taken care of, so on and so forth. But once the dynamic changes, like you're really, really off of those, because I'm assuming it's comfort now or doing of the thing. But when, like, I'm really, really free. I don't really have to, you really get to see how people feel.
She about to be like Cardi B outside, She about to be out there doing her, especially not just divorced, but divorced, and now I'm on TV, so I can offer somebody the opportunity to come on TV and be a love interest.
Gonna boost your resume a little bit.
It definitely boosts your resume. She got, she does have an amazing body. I'm sure there are lots of men that she's now being introduced to, and guys are groupies too now. No, let's don't get it twisted.
They are.
Men are looking for women to help them get. There are a lot of men that will be sitting around looking for an opportunity to be on a reality show.
They are. Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure Huntsville is too.
Oh man, Huntsville probably even has more, because you give a country fella a little exposure. Yeah, they want to do it. Yeah, but yeah, I think that. So he didn't confirm what he did on an interview recently. I'm not sure, but yeah, Marquez, I don't see him being necessary to the equation, because really the only thing that made Marquez interesting with this show was the fact that he and Trish were still married. he started talking so crazy. The last scene he was in, talking about, what about our relationship? We can work on our relationship. And then me, like, he was just talking about stuff that most men, he needs, I think, some medicine or something. Maybe a little, I'm serious, because that didn't make any sense for him to say he and Ken could work on their relationship together. Like, what relationship do they have? I don't need you to work on any relationship with anybody besides the one with your children. That's it.
I think I know what he was trying to say, but it's just that, look, if I'm going to be around and you're going to be around, there's no sense of us giving each other these looks and welcoming, and this, because they got to go through graduations and birthdays and holidays.
He said he wanted to go on vacation together.
I'm saying, now you're taking it too far.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. He said
somebody does do that though. I just saw that.
I saw couples do that too, but yeah. I think people that do that.
Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys and they baby, I think.
Yeah, and then we hear now that Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys are having trouble in paradise. And Will Smith and Jada and his first baby mama. But do y'all really believe that there's no, I think those people are swingers.
Oh.
I just think they're people that like to blur lines.
That's true.
There's blurred lines, because Will and Jada, at this point, it could have been Jada and the chick together, and I you know what I mean. Like I don't think it was ever just that. No, that was.
I seen my son's mother make my girlfriend at the time a plate. I was like, I wouldn't eat that if I was you, but she. I was like, I would never make none of your men a plate. Like,
did she? I mean. Where was it at? Was it at her house?
Yeah, my son's birthday party.
Well, she was being nice.
She was, but that just seemed. I was like, but we understood it was really over. So, but I just thought a lot of people wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I guess more people would do it if you were really over the ex. That lets you know that woman did not want you back, Mo.
Oh, well, she didn't have to. I ended it. It's cool.
So I'm just saying, she really was good. And I think that was actually kind of her. She's actually a more mature woman. Maybe we should have kept her around. Yeah.
For what?
I'm just saying that shows maturity. That's huge.
Yeah, but I got rid of her. Why would I keep her around?
I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't have got rid of her. I'm just saying that's.
You don't know her. Yes, sir. God bless.
But anyway, yeah, I think she was being a good host. If somebody came to my house, I don't know if I would make her a plate, but I would definitely offer her a plate. Yeah. I would offer her some food. I may allow her to get it for herself, but I'm also not a Southern woman. So I know Southern women are some different stuff. I ain't from the South. I ain't gonna go make your plate, but I will definitely, tell you where it's at and welcome you and, give you what you need and everything. But I don't know if I'm gonna go in there and get it for you. I don't know about that.
Just saying.
Yeah, I live in the South, but I'm not from here. Don't ever never get it twisted. Never get that twisted. That is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. But no, I thought Marquez was over the top, and then saying that I want to, oh wow. Michelle said my ex and his wife really became family and no weird swinger stuff. That's cool. That's cool. I'm just saying the couples that we just mentioned, specifically Will Smith and Jada, and we just don't know. At this point, I remember when I first read it, I thought, that's cool. Then we get to know that their life was a little different. So Tammy says, if she made you a plate, would you be comfortable eating it? I know I would not eat any plate that any of my ex's chicks made me ever. Never.
I mean, the mature part, like I wasn't tripping. Like, you move on, man. Great co-parent. Like she wasn't on that type of time.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't born in Oklahoma. I was born in Ohio. And yeah, I'm not. And Oklahoma is kind of Midwest, but I was definitely not born there at all. But I just think the way Marquez was positioning it, he really, really still wanted to be involved in the family. He wanted to work on him and Trish's relationship. And it's different if the kids are, if the kids are young, right, then I think it's a little bit more, you kind of have to have more of a relationship, because you got to talk about parent teacher conferences, report cards. But them kids are in high school, almost graduated. There doesn't need to be the same level of communication with the parents at all. You know what I mean? I think when my kids were in like school, were younger, minors, little kids, not a teenager can get in the car and go see the other parent. They got their own phone. You don't have to be friends like that unless you just want to. When the kids are little, yes.
But you don't have to be mean either. Like, I was in a situation, no, you got to have your own car seat. No, you got to have your, just all this petty.
That's silly. That's silliness. That's.
But that's when you know, okay, we're not there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I get.
No, okay, obviously I may be different from the world, but I think a decent relationship between each other matters when you have children. You like it or not, you're family forever. I think that decent relationship is cool. I don't believe that you're family forever. But I definitely think that it's great to be cordial, because it does affect the kids. But I also think I thought the girl was older than 11. I think that when the kids are older, the relationship doesn't have to be as tight. When the kids are little, it's difficult. And I think when they're little, they tend to cling to new people more, so that the new girl that your ex is with and the new guy, they're going to be a lot more involved in those kids' lives, and just like with Marsau telling Ken, your daughter gives him a hug in the morning. And that is true when the kids are minors. That's true.
When you saying that, like, even if that's true, I don't think that's necessary to say that. If you know that and the daughter knows that, why do you have to explain it to someone that feels a way about the relationship? Like, I don't think that's cool to even say that. If it is, but why say that?
Yeah, I agree. I think you don't have to do that. I think everybody has to find their comfort zone, but you definitely should figure out how to co-parent effectively. That's the best thing for the kids. If the parents can be cordial. And I also think if the person that is with, see, this is the thing too. A lot of times a woman comes into the situation and she's already trying to pick a fight with the ex. The ex may be cool. The ex may be like, I'm over it. We good. And the new chick is like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Or the new guy. So it just depends. You got to bring somebody into the situation that is also mature.
Right. But then it's also what you've been saying prior to them meeting them.
That's true.
You can set it up and be venting, and this person takes your side, and then you just felt like that for that moment. But they carry it on to, okay, you're in a better space when you go pick up the kids and see it, but they still remember what you told them.
That's true too. That's true too. That is very true.
And it can be real tricky. So you really have to be careful venting sometimes and saying stuff. And maybe, you felt like you need to just talk to somebody or vent, but you got to keep in mind that they're not going to let it go because you're used to it. You guys go up and down. This is a new experience for them, and they're still holding on to their energy.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, to Ken's point and his defense, he really was open, almost too open, in my opinion, to having a relationship with Marquez, to bringing him up. I think that he really did, like, best case scenario in the situation, because he was definitely wanted to. I mean, anytime he gave,
Does he have kids? Ken.
I don't remember. Does anybody know if Ken has kids? I believe he does.
If he does, or if he was the child when he was the kid when he was younger, and you weren't, like, a lot of times you tend to, you weren't allowed that access. Or when you go see your kids, you know how that feels. So he don't want that brother to feel, because he understands how that feels. So listen, man, we could be cool. Like, I'm not tripping. When you got not tripping on the guy that once had it when you got the trophy.
Okay, that's true. Okay, Linda says non-biological. He helped raise his ex-girlfriend's daughter that he calls his daughter. Because I know he mentioned That's true. So there are a lot of men that do like being stepfathers. And I think that's a good thing. You know, I remember dating a guy that really wanted to be a stepfather. He felt like he was too old to have kids in his 40s, and so he was looking forward to being a stepfather. He was a professor, so he really liked young people, and there are men like that. But I also think you just have to be careful, because kids are always going to, no matter what, there's still going to be a difference between Marquez said Ken can't have children. Well, what? Well, that may go back to what old girl had said earlier.
I'm just saying, you just never know. So that will make a guy more, you know, hey, you never know.
In the words of Matumbo, not in my house. No. No. I think you got to be careful with that stepfather stuff and stepmother, because kids will always flip on you with the parent. So you with a woman, you come in as a stepfather, you love that child, and then you break up with the mother. The kid is not going to still, 9 times out of 10. Now, there are some kids who still have relationships with their stepmother and stepfather.
Why? And you know why a lot of times that is? Well, first of all, if they're real young, that's all they know. But a lot of times, if you see how, because it could go both ways. If you see how the parent, I just don't want to put it on the women. It could go on the men too. Like, if you see how the other parent really operates, and then you like, wow, man, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
I liked him. And for whatever reason, you know, you can't, because you just cut it off, you can't expect the kids to just feel.
Yeah. That's rough. I think that, you know, it depends on how young the kids are too. So if you raise, like my uncle and my aunt when they got together, she had a baby. Like, he was a baby. So he's the only father he's ever really known. But when the young man got to be like 11 or 12, it was like, well, you're not my real dad. But he really didn't even know another dad, you know what I mean? Because that my uncle was there from the beginning. So I do think that if you raise a child, I understand that you would have a relationship with that child. And then if my children had a stepfather that had came in when they were that young, I would have definitely supported them still having a relationship with that person, because otherwise it's rejection, right? So if Ken, like right now, Trish's daughter, if she's 11 and Ken has been there for like 3 years, then he got there when she was very, very young, and she probably does have more of a relationship with Ken probably sees him more as a father than Marquez, because Marquez has been in Atlanta making rap albums, you know. So
depends on the activities and the experiences that you have with them in that time frame.
Yeah.
You know, showing them stuff, introducing them, talking to them, introducing them to new things, showing them, teaching them how to ride a bike. All these experiences, you know, they're moments in these kids' life that they don't forget.
Yeah, I think Ken seems like a really good guy, but he also seems like somebody that likes being in that role of being a savior.
And men are better, you know, like there's a clip of Nelly. It's a Nelly and Shanti's reality show. I haven't seen the show, but I've seen the clip.
I've seen the show. I watch it. I think it's adorable. I love it.
I don't know if he was talking to someone that was like, and I'm not saying this is right, but I'm just explaining his perspective. Like, when they're at the infant, as a man, it ain't too much you can do.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw that. I did not like it.
We can't, I'm not saying it's right, but we can't wait to the part where they can talk back, we can understand each other, we can communicate, I can show them things. It's kind of at that tender age when they're young, it's like, and I'm not saying you don't love them and you love them any less. It's just that he just feels like his role hasn't kicked in. His role is always there, but as far as what he can physically do and what he feels as though he can make an impact.
Nelly said he didn't want to really do all of that. He would just wait till he could walk and talk. I didn't like that, but There are a lot of men that feel like that, but I think I'm with Linda. The baby needs to bond with the father too. And I think there's nothing sweeter than seeing a man cuddle the little, the little bitty baby. I just little bitty babies are so sweet. I like that age better than when they start running and talking, and then you gotta watch them. Stop, put that down. Wait, what are you doing? Oh, come here. Like all that, that's not fun. And dads that say they are ready for that, they get tired quick. So they say, oh yeah, I like it when they can run around. But then I always see those kind bring them back to the mom when they're getting into stuff. Here, go over there with your mama because you're doing too much.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everybody should do everything. But I do know a lot of dads say that. Like I'm able to really kick in. He's not wrong in how he feels, but and Ashanti had no problem with it because Ashanti is loving on having that new baby, so she doesn't care about him not wanting to do all that. I remember when my son was little, my son, he would do weird things that my daughter didn't do, like use the bathroom and take it out and put it places. It was just really not. And his dad would always be like, "Well, that's for you." I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all because that's just I did not like that. But anyway, back to Ken and Trish. I don't think that we'll see a marriage anytime soon with them. I think we're going to see a lot of problems. I think we're going to get down to the real problems with the two of them, because really all their issues now have seemed like Marquez is the only problem, right? So it's kind of giving them this false comfort, like their relationship is perfect. I think as soon as now that this divorce is final, we're going to see the real issues with Ken and Trish.
It's on us.
Yes.
Now, their energy is gone. Now this is what we're going to see what it is.
We're going to see, and we're going to see the fact that Trish, as we heard when she was first introduced, wasn't necessarily excited about jumping back into being married. She kind of wanted to spread her wings and that kind of thing. I think she's gonna feel a little bit suffocated. I think that she liked having Ken because he was picking up all the slack. And I think now that she has the ability, and like I said, it's not this whole being on a reality show, it don't hurt, so I don't see that happening.
And then he's a distraction of the thing that was going on. A healthy distraction, so it appears.
But I'm interested to see what he says next week, because that little clip of him saying, maybe I'm the one that doesn't want to get married now. He probably done caught wind of some stuff that is going to make us look at him crazy again. I also wanted to ask you, what did you think of hearing Ken's friend Will say that at one time he was a trainer and Arion, he used to train Arion. Did you see Martell's face when that?
Mm-hmm. My, how the tables turn.
How the tables turn. And Martell, what I don't like about what he's doing right now is he's acting like he's trying to see if Arion is worthy of being his wife. And as his mother said, she did all this to get you, she might as well be. But I think that knowing Martell and his ego, if that's true, and she really did go by that guy's house, Martell is really going to have a problem with that.
Well, here's the thing. If he really does have a problem with that, it's a great indication on what him and Trish could have possibly done. You see what I'm saying?
How'd you get there?
I mean, if Martell and Trish didn't do anything, why wouldn't you think it's possible that Arion and Homeboy didn't do anything?
Oh, you're saying because they probably was messing around the whole time.
Yeah, if they were messing around, obviously you're going to be thinking, I know what goes on. You see what I'm saying?
I see, with the trainer. Yes, that's the trainer. Yes. That's a good point. And I think Arion does a great job of making of rubbing Martell's ego, but she ain't stupid. She's probably not as stupid as he thinks. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I love that saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really even know if Martell would marry Arion.
If he, it'll be, I don't know, but usually in those situations, it's out of, well, nobody wants to get married on a, might as well.
But see, I think Martell is very impressed with himself. Did you guys hear when he was talking about them being in Vegas, and he was like, the girl wanted me bad, but I was like, no, she got you, and she wanted me, but I was like, no. I was like, Martell, like, yeah. I don't know. He's very impressed with himself, but I think he knows he can get other. He dated Sheree. He's dated some other women in between Melody and Arion. So I don't know.
But he sounds like one of those cats is like, I won't marry her. I won't do anything, or I don't really want this, but I don't want nobody else to have it either type cat.
That could be true. But I also think that even though he's narcissistic and chauvinistic, I do think he's one of those country boys that really does want a wife and a family. I think he wants it. He probably didn't know how to properly take care of it, but I do think he wants to be married. And I think he obviously loves his children. He loves being a father. I think he wants to have that family feel, like that, that typical feel of the conventional family. He just messed it up. But I do think he wants to be married again. He's even said he liked being married.
I'm gonna keep it real. To me, that means nothing. Like, you could want, like I gave the analogy last week, or was it Friday or Wednesday? Like a kid can want a pup. It doesn't mean that you're responsible enough to have it just because you want it.
That's true.
It doesn't mean you're responsible enough to keep it.
That's true. That is so obviously. Tammy said he'll marry Destiny before Arion. I don't know why him and Destiny just don't get together. This is ridiculous.
No, don't do that.
But I don't believe that nothing happened. I think maybe she doesn't want to because of the fact that Melody believed it and was accusing them of doing that. But it's just something about you remember that scene a couple of seasons ago when he was like, your son looks like me. How'd that happen?
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
They African accents, they both will probably play each other, and probably will, because there was a scene, and I meant to download this and show it tonight, but I forgot to pull it. Did you guys see there was a digital clip where Destiny was talking to Kimmy and Tisha? Well, she was talking to Kimmy mostly about, the situation with Nell's son, right?
In the dressing room at some place.
Yes, I sent it to you. And then she was like, she acknowledged that she and Moses had broken. She was like, when we broke up, because she making it seem like her and Nell's son weren't really together. It just would have been nice if he told her. And then she was like, well, you're and your ex. He was like, well, we had broke up. We were still friends. So if they broke up and we're still friends, then that's not the story she told a couple of seasons ago.
That's
so true. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I caught that. I was like, well, that's not what you were saying when was Sonny
and Moses. That's not what she was saying. That's not what she was saying.
You're right.
And we gave Sonny a hard time. And I do think Sonny was full of it. Two things can be true. But Destiny did make it seem like they were still messing around and he was still reaching out to her. She didn't make it seem like they were friends for months.
She said it. She was like, well, because they were doing a timeline with the dates. I was still getting texts at this time when you were October,
and they got married in December. She's at that last text that she claimed they had interacting was October, and then they got married in November or December. So, because they got married very, very quickly. So, but Sonny said that her and Moses had been messing around since like September. And so, and she knew that he was still reaching out to Destiny. She was like, that wasn't her concern. Then they got married. So, but for Destiny to say that they broke up and then they were just friends. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like it. Linda says Sonny showed Moses' phone on her live. The texts were very generic and cordial. So Destiny probably was lying then, and they probably were just friends.
But
she said now,
somebody can text you and you can respond, and then you just show like hell. I got texts up until the day I was married from someone. You know what I'm saying? Like I
can't. Got him after Mo.
Huh?
Did you get him after too?
No, they were like, yo, I'm gonna come up to the wherever I got married at, whatever, some BS, because they didn't know or whatever, just playing, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing.
That ain't how you play.
Yeah, I know, but hell, I called someone, didn't even know they would get married that day.
Oh, wow.
I'm just randomly calling, and no, somebody else told me. I was like, yo, they were like, yo, we about to go to the wedding. I was like, who getting married? They was like, your people. I was like, what? Then I called them, and I was like, yo, and I was like, what are you doing? She was like, oh, I'm just cleaning out the garage. Like, and then you're gonna put on your wedding dress and whatever, and then the phone got quiet. It's like, how did you know? We got the same friends, idiot.
I know that person. That is hilarious.
You do know that person.
That is hilarious. Were you hurt?
I was more shocked because you could have told me. I mean, I knew you were sick, but I didn't know it was to the, you know, but to hear from a third party, you know, I'm like, come on now.
I have heard, and I've had it happen. A lot of men have cold feet before they get married. Yeah. And a lot of them will reach out to exes to see if there's any hope, which is very strange, but that happens a lot.
After they set a date?
When they're about to get married. Oh. Like, are you sure? Because before I do this, I want to make sure. There are a lot of men that do that.
Nah, that's true. Nah.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that would be like, if men have cold feet, then women have frozen toes. I don't know. See, whenever I got married, I knew I was not at that point. I would not have. That's crazy. That is crazy. But I've talked to someone as they were getting ready to get married the next day. I was on a date with this one guy, and his chick was having a bridal shower. You remember that?
I remember you talk. Yeah.
Ooh, I happened to look online, and one of my friends was at her bridal shower. And I was like, oh, I don't know her. Who? And they was like, congratulations on her upcoming nuptials to this person. I was like, well, that's funny. I went to her page, and there my date was.
Hey, man. Woo, I got a story, but I ain't going to tell that one.
Well, go ahead and share it. Share it with the people.
I can't do that. But I would just say, the bachelor parties and bachelorette parties are very interesting on on both sides. I'm not going to put it just on the men, and I'm not going to put it just on the women. Mm-hmm. I've heard stories on both sides. Like, I'm not interested in having one at all.
At this point, you've done everything that could possibly be done.
Yeah, but I didn't even, even the bachelor party that I did have that some people put together for me, the husband of the woman I was talking about, her husband shows up and throws a bunch of women in my face and all this other stuff while I just got finished talking to his wife, telling her I was getting married and she was crying. It was a mess. Shout out to her because she might be watching. She was watching Wednesday. But it is what it is.
Scorpio Mo just kiss the girls and makes them cry. Jesus Christ.
I'm a changed man. I'm gonna just let y'all know. And that's what I've learned is that is the better man to have. The man that went through it all.
And he's on the downward slope.
No, that's the misconception. That's not true. That's not true. All my equipment work, and
well, equipment be damned.
No, in my heart, no, that's not true.
But I'm just saying, you don't want to tell somebody that you have to wait till a man is damn near 55 for him to be ready. That is ridiculous.
Oh, no, but hey, any other time, I'm a better man because of that. You're getting the best part of me. Now, after about 5-6 years from now, it might be something else. But I'm saying
that's not a very long window.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm enjoying it.
I got, like, you get in here, we got a good 5 years.
No, what I'm saying, I got 5 years before I might turn the switch on to something else and be mean and don't want to deal with them at all and just be whatever. But at the same time, I was like, you would have got a different version of me that might not been prepared. Now I'm sorry, I didn't make the timing. Experience did.
I remember a friend of mine at school. This lady, she married this guy, this man, because we were in our 30s, and
right.
I'll never forget this. This was the funniest line I've ever heard, and I was like, that is really sad. So the lady married somebody's husband, somebody's wife died. This is an older man. Well, now he's not older, he's like around our age now. He's in his 50s. His wife died. She was in her 30s. She marries this widower. And I remember she was extremely happy. She was, had been struggling with a single life. And one of my girlfriends was like, somebody had to die for her to get a husband.
Hey, listen, if we match, what is the thing that I see today? I saw today, if you match every man to a woman, you know how many women's going to be left over?
Amen.
It's going to be ridiculous. So you're either going to have to double up or wait till somebody die or get out of jail.
I can't. That was the funniest thing. She said somebody had to die for her to get a husband. I was like, oh my God. But yes, we do want the best version of the other person.
That's all I'm saying. I'm like, even a father, all this stuff.
A father?
No, sometimes, like, and that's people in general. Sometimes you'll see them be a better grandmother than they were a mother. Like, I didn't make this, it gets greater later. If you accept that attitude, I'm just saying, I wasn't the best version of me at those particular times. And maybe that's the reason why I wasn't able to give my all. I'm sorry if it didn't happen on anyone else's timeline, but it happened on me and God's timeline.
That's true. Do you think there's any women from your past? And this is really
no.
Well, damn.
None of them.
Oh my God. Not even the one that you guys both were sad about each other's weddings?
No. Great friend. Like, I learned to be a better friend and cool, but no, sorry.
Well, let's rate the last two Love and Marriage Huntsvilles. We kind of got off track here, but let's rate this last one. I thoroughly enjoyed Maurice and Martel's conversation. I enjoyed the glee in Martel's eyes as Maurice told this crazy story about the animal, the pole, and the tree. It sounds like an Aesop fable, right? The animal, the pole, and the tree. I thoroughly enjoyed the foolishness and shenanigans that Maurice attempted to sell us as a fan base, and then the fact that he posted pictures on his stories on Instagram to try to lawyer us into believing what he did, but he did not post a picture of said animal. That's the only thing that was missing. The picture of said animal that he did hit. So I'm going to give that episode, I think it was delightful. I'm going to give it a 9.
Ooh, I would have gave it an 8. Okay. I was thinking 8. Okay. I'm not mad at a 9.
Yeah, I mean, a 9 just because of that I feel like that conversation proved that the conversation that we watched on YouTube with Martell and Arion and the alleged mistress, I feel like that made it credible because Maurice did not deny that the woman was there or that his brother flew her out. Any of it. It was obvious that there was something to. There is something to the story.
He said the brother flew out, right?
According to Martell, Marsau flew her out. Maurice's first question was, "How did I get involved?"
So if the brother flew her out, pardon me, he's smart enough to be like, Martell, that's your people. I'm a cash app you buy the car. Like, he ain't gonna leave no paper trail. That's why they feel as confident as they do.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Kimmy knows and just is playing her position?
There's a very good chance, yes. Because the MDNA, that's lawyer talk.
Yeah.
That's business talk. That's lawyer talk.
But I mean, and I also think Kimmy is smart enough to where she would be like, I'm not going to let people make me look crazy, even though she may know what Maurice has done. I think, because there was like rumors about not just Vegas, but also when they did the trip here and they were all photographed with Arion. I don't think Kimmy's stupid at all. I don't think Kimmy's naive. I think Tisha may be more naive than Kimmy. But Tisha may not even be as naive as she's playing. She may just not want to mess up her marriage.
And you know how I know that? Because how she broke down Martell and Marsau's relationship. Not Marsau, Maurice's relationship.
Yeah.
And how she broke that down. And I'm listening to words she said. I'm like, this is a woman that pays attention to details and, more importantly, patterns.
Yep.
She very well might know, and if so, she's playing this smart. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at her because you don't want to give people a chance, but you don't want to go overboard. And I think Tisha getting up in Chris's face just shows that she is more bothered than she wants to
Absolutely.
let on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't think, you know what, if these people have admitted that they had, I mean, Chris and Nell can admit it because they've been married longer than anybody else, right? So they've been married over 30 years. So of course, if they admit they've had infidelity issues, that's on them. But to keep throwing it up like that is what's going to cause Tisha the trouble, because if you know that there are rumors, rampant rumors, right? You know how the rumors are affecting you. Why would you go out of your way to throw it up in her face that you guys have had those problems? Like, that's not the right thing to do. Would just be like, marriage is difficult. We all know that. But to keep on saying, well, you've had infidelity in your marriage, because like Kimmy said before, somebody mentioned that she did say, I don't put anything past anybody. I think that's a safe place to be as a wife, because what you don't want to do is say what you know and then your husband surprise you with some. You don't want to be like, Shantae's got a man, and then he do something to make you look crazy.
And then Shantae's man got a man. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Shante, I hated that song. And then to do that song and then not be married, I just, bless her heart. And I understand she probably felt bad.
No.
The funny thing is, I did this event with her in California a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And she sang the song. I was like, is she going to sing that song?
She got it every time. She got to announce that it's the remix.
She does. She announced that, when I did this song and da-da-da. I was like, I would just stop singing it. But it's one of her biggest hits.
Yeah, she got to do it. And she fine in the mother. Yeah.
She's a very pretty woman. She's very underrated. She can really sing. But she had to get up there and give a disclaimer and then do another one at the end. I was just like, save it.
What it is.
Well, all right, we're gonna get off of here. What are you doing for Labor Day weekend? That's what this is, Labor Day weekend.
Shooting content tomorrow. Then I'm chilling out, man. When do I go back to work? Tuesday. I'm playing it by ear. I don't know. That's a great question. I know I'm working all day tomorrow. I do know that.
Well, I have a photo shoot tomorrow that I'm excited about. And then, as I said, Sunday is Breezy Bowl. I heard that Chris Brown does 54 songs.
And from what I understand, what's the name that's opening that?
Summer Walker
and
Bryson Tiller.
Yeah.
Because they got that record that people are, and I think we're going to do the TikTok dance. Yeah. My daughter and I are going to do the TikTok dance, and I'll post it. I feel like we have to because we're going, we got to do it.
No, you don't.
I think we do. I feel as though we do.
All right.
I'll post it. I will post it. Yeah. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Now, tune in on Monday because King's Court is getting so good. And I just want to say, I don't know if the viewer is in here or not that ran back and told, okay? But I told y'all last...
No. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Let's leave it alone. Don't do it. 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 I know where you're going. Don't do it. It's not. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's a reason why I'm saying that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because I still haven't seen it. And I'm not going to see it.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anyway, tune in on Monday. King's Court is getting good. We should be getting to the end of this. One of the young ladies on that show used to date R. Kelly.
How old is she?
Well, old enough to have dated R. Kelly. But most importantly, Tyson did not. She's, I don't know, probably like in her late 30s.
Old enough to date R. Kelly could be 14 to...
No, she's grown.
Okay.
But she dated him 10 years ago. Tyson Beckford did not want to be associated with her because of her ex. Do you think that was right or wrong?
I mean, everybody got a pass. I wouldn't trip on that, man. Unless 10 years ago she was underage, I wouldn't trip on it.
She wasn't underage.
Then I mean, everybody.
I think he didn't like the fact that she didn't tell him. And he kept asking her because she kept mentioning that she had dated other celebrities, and he wouldn't tell her who it was.
Thing in that world, because a lot of times people cross paths, and especially for a man's ego.
And that's what he said he wanted to know because it's a very small industry, and it is. And she wouldn't tell him, and then when she did tell him, he was like, "Yo, that's crazy,"
right?
And he sent her home.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah, I can see. But you guys tune in on Monday, and then on Wednesday we will have we got a really good dating diary show. So Tuesday, and then you guys gotta let me. Well, I won't be able to tomorrow because I'll be doing a photo shoot anyway. But maybe the following week we can check out what you guys are doing for the Run That Back podcast.
Yes. We got a couple. We'll maybe shoot 2 or 3. Definitely 2.
All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day. Let us know. I'll put some posts up for my weekend. Let me know what you're doing this weekend. Let us know how you're enjoying your holiday weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys on a Monday. And then, of course, Mo and I will be back on Wednesday. And then Friday, we're right back up in Ready to Love, trying to get to the bottom of this. Okay? Trying to get to the bottom of Philly because we realize they played in our faces with no dates. We have seen no dates. None.
Not really, yeah.
I mean, no dates except when they go to tell them yes or no.
That's true.
The date is the elimination date. I want to see some people. What about the group dates where people go have fun and do stuff? We ain't seen none of that. Are there no group dates in Philly?
I think Philly is a different terrain. And I just think, I don't know if it's a logistic thing or, because even aesthetically, it doesn't look the same as the other.
No, that house certainly didn't look the same. Nope, it didn't. But yeah, we have seen no group dates. Tammy said no money.
Right, the budget.
What we have heard is baby daddy's in jail. Baby daddy, ex is dying. It's just been a tragedy. And one bad story after another. So I want us to get to it. But I got a feeling, you guys, this is going to be a very good reunion.
Yeah. This would make for a good reunion.
This is going to make for a good reunion. So, all right, y'all have a great weekend, Mo. Have good content creating tomorrow. You guys wish me a great breezy bowl, and we will see you guys next week.
Y'all be safe out there this holiday.
All right, bye.
And for those who celebrate Pride, I was shocked. I saw it on TikTok. I saw all these dudes, and it was like, yeah, I ain't gonna say the name of the spot. I'm like, what the? Anyway.
Happy Pride weekend.
For those that celebrate that.
Yes. Thank you, Mo. That was very nice of you. On that note, we will.
We will see y'all. Crystal will see you Monday. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Be safe, y'all.
Yes.